Welcome back, activators, to It Is Done. I'm Misha, your guide on this amazing journey that we are on, where we don't just talk about faith, we put our faith into action. And today we're discussing what I consider a powerful element of living a faith-filled life, and that is boldness. Faith is not meant to be passive. It's not just a belief in your heart, but it's really a movement in your steps. Like it's something for you to fully step into and fully embody. And James chapter 2, verse 17 reminds us of this when it says, faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead. So boldness, if you will, is the language of faith. Boldness speaks even when fear is present, and it moves forward regardless. It moves forward regardless of what is around you, regardless of what you see, regardless of what you feel, on and on and on. Boldness is the language of faith, right? And it really is that powerful spiritual boldness, that divine boldness that comes directly from the master of the universe. True faith has a sense of boldness, okay? It isn't about being without fear. It's about choosing to act in spite of the fear. When you take a bold step of faith, you are declaring to the universe, to the master of the universe, to the world around you, to the people around you, that you are ready to receive, that you trust the divine process that is currently unfolding in your life. Boldness is what activates the power of God in your life, and it sets miracles into motion. Boldness is essential in a life of faith because boldness is what turns belief into reality. It's really the difference between thinking about what could happen and stepping into what will happen. Bold acts of faith have the power to activate miracles for you, to activate miracles in your life, to change your circumstance, to change and transform your life. Joshua chapter 1, verse 9 encourages us, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Okay? God is with us wherever we go, especially if He is our Lord. He is our Lord. He is our master. Boldness doesn't mean the absence of fear. Again, it means that you act in the face of it. You act in the face of fear. You are boldly confronting it. It's about taking a step forward when everything else in you wants to hold back. Boldness is not just an action. It is a spiritual declaration. When you choosing be the key word, to move boldly, when you are willing to move boldly, you are telling God, I trust you. No matter my situation, no matter my circumstance, no matter what it looks like around me, no matter what the people around me are saying, no matter, I trust you. Not the situation, not the circumstance, not the people around me. I trust you. And Hebrews chapter 10, verse 35 through 36 tells us, do not throw away your confidence. It will be richly rewarded. You need to persevere so that when you have done the will of God, you will receive what He has promised. Okay? You are saying, I know I don't have all the answers. I acknowledge that. But I'm stepping out in faith because I believe that you are already there. I believe that you're going to meet me there. I believe that you're going to make my path clear as I start taking steps. And it's really this kind of boldness that creates an opening for divine power to flow. This kind of boldness is what creates an opening for divine power to flow, not only through you, but around you. Let me ask you this today. Where in your life do you need to be bolder? You're probably thinking of a situation or a circumstance somewhere in your life right now where you know you need to be bolder. Where have you been waiting for the conditions to be perfect instead of stepping out and trusting that the way will be made clear as you move? Ecclesiastes 11:4 reminds us whoever watches the wind will not plant. Just think about that. Are you a watcher or are you a planter? Whoever looks at the clouds will not reap. You cannot just be a viewer, a voyeur. You must get into action. You must step into the boldness that is already within you, that is already flowing within you. This is about not having certainty, not having confidence in you, not having self-made confidence, but having trust, divine trust in the master of the universe. It's about believing that God is guiding you, even if you can't see the full path ahead. To really illustrate this power, boldness, and spiritual practice, let's look at some examples from the. I want you to think, for example, of David and Goliath. Almost everyone knows his story. David and Goliath, pretty great story to talk about boldness. We see this story take place in 1 Samuel chapter 17. David steps up to face the giant, and we know from reading this that at that time, David was not the most experienced warrior. He didn't have self-made confidence. He didn't have the strongest armor. But what did he have? David had boldness that was rooted in his faith. He knew what God had done for him before, and he knew what God could do now if he willed it. And so he took what he had, he took what was in his hand, which was a simple sling and 5 stones, and David moved forward with courage. It was not his weapon that won that battle, it was his faith in action. And I think that is so key and so important for us to grasp onto right now, is the fact that David didn't have it all figured out. He didn't have all this experience. He had nothing that could literally say, I did this. But we knew, and the people around him knew, wow, God is with you. Because it was not self-made. It was the divine power of God flowing through him. And it activated when he stepped out in that courageous boldness. He won that battle. We can also consider Esther, Queen Esther. She approached the king to save her people. She risked her own life in the process. Talk about boldness. Her boldness did not come from being without fear. Clearly, she had fear. She said, if I die, I die. There was a true risk at hand for her. So there was fear, but she willingly acted despite the fear. And her courage activated a miracle that saved an entire nation. We see this in Esther chapter 4, verse 14, where it is echoed. When Mordecai says to her, and who knows, but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this. We're not God, we don't have all knowing. But that's why it is so impactful that she stepped out with that courageous faith that activated a miracle that saved an entire nation. Her nation was saved through her act of boldness. Remember, when you move forward, you are not moving forward in your own strength. It is not self-made. You are moving forward in the boldness of God. You are moving forward in the boldness of what he has called you to. You are moving forward in the boldness of his word. Remember how powerful we are. We are children of the master of the universe. That means the universe bends to our will when our will is in alignment with the master of the universe. I remember a time in my own life I had to make a decision, and the decision at that time felt completely overwhelming. A lot of times when I have to make decisions, I am not ready. And God is like, I want you to jump in. I'm one of those people, I want to have everything figured out before I move. So when I feel the unctioning to move and I know I don't have everything figured out, that's a key for me that, okay, God is really telling me I need to do this. And it required me to step outside of my comfort zone, as most things do, and do something I had never done before. Psalms 56:3 says, when I am afraid, I put my trust in you. That's telling us right now, we will be afraid, and it's okay. But when we come against fear, we have the choice, we have the free will, we have the option of what we're going to put our trust into. What am I going to put my power behind? Am I going to put my power behind my trust in you, God? Or am I going to put it behind what I am afraid of? Creation. I think I would rather put my trust in the creator. I remember being terrified, but I knew that this was a pivotal moment for me. And if I let fear stop me, I would be saying no to the blessing that awaited me on the other side of that and blessings for the rest of my life. So I chose to take that bold step. I chose to move forward. Even with trembling hands, literally, I was so nervous. And the result was nothing short of miraculous for me. The doors that began to open were the kind I could not have forced open on my own. I could not have done this in my own power. And it was really that boldness that set the miracle in motion. So, how can you and I cultivate more spiritual boldness in our daily lives? Remember, we love making it practical here. And it really starts with understanding that boldness isn't about being without fear. It's not like you're looking at someone and saying, if you can think in your mind of someone that you see them and you're just like, wow, they are just so courageous and bold. I guarantee you they experience fear just like you and I do. And it's not that they act without fear, but they move in spite of it. They move in the presence of it. Each day, we have this same opportunity to be bold, to take actions that align with our faith. Philippians chapter 4, verse 13, one of my favorite verses. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I can do it through him. I can do it if he's got my back. I can do it if he puts his power on me. I can do it if he anoints me. I can do it if he said I could do it. That's all I need to know. The key here is to recognize these moments when we are in them and to act on them. Remember, we talked in a couple of episodes ago about stepping outside the loop. You cannot continue to go over the same lessons over and over and over again. The blessing is on the other side of fear. God is trying to get you on the other side of that mountain. You're praying and you're asking him for something, and he is asking you to step out in faith. He's already done the work. Do you trust him? Can you step out with that courageous, bold faith? Here are some practical steps I think are amazing for living boldly, for practicing living boldly. Here's an easy one. Every single day, take a courageous step. It does not have to be big. I say that all the time. It doesn't have to be a huge, heavy, big, humongous step. Clear that from your mind. It can be a small step. It's a step. No matter what, as long as it is something that stretches you, that is amazing. Whether it's speaking up in a situation where you would normally stay silent, whether it's you stepping out and making a decision that you've been putting off, maybe you're taking the first step towards a dream that you have. I want you to start making it a daily habit, a daily practice for you to be bold, to step into your boldness. A lot of us are bold in our nature, and it is through life, through the trauma of life, through situations or circumstances that we have dimmed our light. We have dimmed our boldness. Boldness and courage is a muscle just like everything else. Take one courageous every day. The second one is to use affirmations and declarations. Again, this is something we've talked about in a previous episode. Reinforce a mindset of boldness for yourself. You do this through the words that you speak. When you speak words of courage and faith over your life, you are reinforcing that mindset of boldness. You are putting on the thoughts that God thinks over you. You can say things like, I am fearless in faith. I move forward with boldness because I trust that the way is already made. You're choosing to believe these things, and you're choosing to go forward and encourage yourself. Literally see yourself speaking these words over yourself, and they almost envelop like a bubble around you. I am fearless in faith. As you say these words, the bubble gets bigger around you. Now I want you to see yourself moving forward with that boldness, that trust. That is the power of affirmations and declarations. It's powerful. Number 3, remember, boldness is about trusting deeply. It really is. It's about, we're always putting our trust in something. It's deciding, who am I putting my trust in, and willingly stepping forward in that. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 1 tells us the righteous are bold as a lion. Are you righteous? Then be bold as a lion. Because it's not about knowing all the answers. That's being self-made. It's about trusting that the answers will come as you move forward. Let each step you take be a statement of your faith. If you want to make this a little bit more practical, let's take these a little bit deeper. Identify one area in your life, like we said before, where you know you need to act more boldly. Where do you feel called to be courageous? For me, it's using my voice. It could be starting a new project, maybe ending a toxic relationship, or speaking your truth. You're going to commit to taking a step in that direction this week. You're going to start using your own daily affirmations to reinforce your boldness. I'm bold in faith and I act with courage. Let these words, which are powerful, shape your mindset. Let them reinforce your belief. As always, I love doing guided meditations. I love visualizing. I want you to see yourself taking a bold step. Whatever that bold step you see yourself doing, visualize it. See the path unfolding as you move. As you move, the next brick is laid, and then the next brick is laid. The bricks appear beneath your feet as you continue to take steps. Feel God supporting you and surrounding you in this, encouraging you to keep going. He has your back. Today, on this episode, we explored the amazing power of spiritual boldness and why it matters to a life of faith. We are activators. We must be spiritually bold. The word says, do not fear, for I am with you. I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous hand. Boldness, spiritual boldness, activates miracles. It is the declaration that you trust God to meet you right where you are. You trust Him to guide you as you move forward. Activators are spiritually bold. That doesn't mean we are without fear. It means that we take action in the midst of it. If you're ready to dive even deeper, I want to encourage you to join and become a member of the Aligned Tribe, which is this podcast community. It's where we put together and put into action every single day what we learn here, what God speaks to us. We get to connect with other activators, we share our journey, and we encourage others to live boldly through support. In the community, you get access to my out-of-print devotional that inspired this very podcast and inspired this community. It is given to you as a bonus gift for being a member. God has inspired me and encouraged me to just get the devotional out to as many people as possible, because we need to steep ourselves in this mindset that it's already done. It's already done. And if you want to go even deeper, we are going to have in the next couple of weeks, starting a live group program towards the end of December, the beginning of January, where we are going to take one day from this 30-day devotional and we're going to expound and expand on it in 1 week. So this is going to be over the course of 30 weeks. It's going to be an amazing chamber. I cannot wait to see what God does through us, through each and every one that participates. I know He's going to do a great work. It is definitely Him calling me to do this. This is going to be an opportunity for us to grow, to take courageous steps, and really activate miracles in such a connected community. I'd love to have you a part of it. You can learn more in the show notes or through the community. Remember, activators, faith in action changes everything. We've been talking about this over the last couple of episodes. It is really time for you to start forward with boldness and let the miracles unfold before you. Remember, the miracle is not in the asking, it's in the believing and the becoming. Believing and becoming. It's time to marry your faith with your action. I want to thank you for joining me today on It Is Done. I'm Nisha, reminding you that the courage is your key to the miraculous. Until next time, keep believing, keep acting, and keep moving in faith. I believe in you.